Hey guys, today on our YouTube video we are going to be installing our flat underbody panels on our Shop 987.2. The underbody panels do also fit the .1 and it works really well with our rear diffuser, feeding it clean air so that it can work better. First part of the underbody install is to remove these two bolts and remove the 13 millimeter from the rear sway bar bolts right there. This is for the 987.2. The 987.1 is a little different. I'll go grab a video of that, but that's the first step, and we will be installing brackets on these points. All right, so on the 987.1 you will want to remove this 13, so the bottom one, and we have brackets for both the .1 and the .2, and they are different. All right, so using the OEM hardware, we're gonna thread it through, and then it's going to face, the bracket's gonna face, I guess, forward. You wanna call the ears, but we'll thread it in there, and then we will have to use a wrench to tighten it, and we'll target something around like 14 to 16 foot-pounds, and then we'll do it to the other side, and then I will show you what to do on the 987.1. Very similar, just a different bracket. This is a 13 millimeter. All right, at this point, both brackets are installed. This bottom flange should be parallel to the bottom of the car. If it's not, you can kind of tweak this pretty easily, as it's just sheet aluminum, but it should not need very much tweaking, if any. But this should be flat with the bottom of the car. Same with this side. And then we'll move on to actually installing the underbody panel. If you are installing the rear diffuser with the underbody panel, we'll go through that as well. But you'll also need these brackets installed, and that all is encompassed in the diffuser install. Real quick, move to the 987.1 install, which is slightly different here, and we'll be back with you in a second. All right, so here we have the 987.1 loosely installed. As you can see, the bracket is different and the ears face rearward now. We'll do the exact same install. You can probably use like a socket instead of a wrench, like on the 987.2. Tighten that to something around 14 to 16 foot-pounds, and then we'll move on to actually installing the underbody panel. But that is the 987.1 bracket on the 987.1 subframe, I guess, if you want to call it a subframe. All right, so if you are installing the underbody panel with the diffuser, at this time you actually fasten the two together. So you will use the M4 button head cap screw, the washer, and then it'll be sheet metal, carbon, and then another washer, and then an eye lock. And you'll bolt that all together. You don't need a ton of strength there. It's a nylock nut, so it's not going to back off. So don't go crazy with as far as torque there. And then we'll get to installing it. We're installing both. So you'll also need to go to the diffuser install video or manual at this point and install all the brackets that you see here. And then you can install both together. If you install just the flat underbody panel, obviously you do not need this bracket. All right, so at this point, the flat underbody panel is ready to go up. Our shop car is running our rear diffuser as well, so we're installing both. I have asked Man Bun Mike to help us out. All right, we need to install these 2 points first, and then we'll install some of the rear diffuser points. And the last few points will actually be the front forwardmost points on the underbody panel. We're gonna be using a button head cap screw, a washer, and then a serrated nut on the top. Let's get to it. All right, so something I accidentally forgot until the panel was on car was the foam placement. So we include about 1 foot of foam in each kit, and it's black instead of gray. This is something we had laying around for the prototype. But we will put a very small dab of foam right there on each side, as well as about 1.5 inches right there, and then a strip roughly 8 inches from the front lip. And that basically reduces any noise you'll hear from this panel, because this does butt up very close to the engine and the transmission and all the belly pan pieces. So we include some foam so that everything doesn't rattle against those bits. All right, this is difficult to see, but we are looking at the front of the underbody panel. We're going to be installing these 2 larger bolts. We're going to take the aluminum spacer and run it up through there, and then tighten that just a few threads so that we can still do the other side, because you can barely get your finger in after. All right, and then using a Allen wrench, we'll actually tighten this up real quick. I'd say 24 foot-pounds, probably pretty good.
Thanks guys for watching our short little install on the flat underbody panel for the 987. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe and follow us if you want to see more how-tos and videos about us in the shop.